I've got a quiz question for you. Can you see anything different on this screen? Obviously, the date in the top right has gone forward, but is there anything weird going on? I probably shouldn't have had him highlighted, but I was too excited. Wayne Beckford's name is blue. That means he's in on loan. Jack, what's happening? I'll tell you what's happening. I've sold him to Celtic. He had a release clause of £350,000, I think it was, to teams in the Premier League. Celtic came in and said, we'll give you £950,000, you can have 50% of any profit, and you can have him on loan for the rest of the year. And, yeah, I couldn't really say no to that. So Wayne Beckford is no longer our player, except he is our player because he's back on loan. Capiche? Capiche. Yes, folks, how is it going? Welcome back to Part to Prem. I wasn't initially going to come back during the transfer window, but with 2 games left until the transfer deadline day, I thought now was a good time to come back, not just because we're taking on Wolverhampton Wanderers, but because in the FA Cup 4th round, we've got an away day against Tottenham. And let's be honest, if I didn't do the away day at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, you lot would be upset. Now, there is quite a lot happening on the transfer front as a result of us getting nearly £1 million for Wayne Beckford. But before we talk about that, let's discuss the matches since you were last here. Of course, games against MK Dons, Derby County and Hull. Since then we have played, well, you can see here, 6 matches in all competitions, and in the league we've looked pretty good. A few disappointing results in here. We did lose 1-0 to Swansea, although they are up in 4th. That was a bit sad, 2 defeats in a row. You start to question yourself, especially after we'd been on a good run of form. But then we did bounce back with a monstrous win. This win here against Stoke was an amazing one. 67% of the ball. We dominate possession. And after this game, Stoke sacked their manager. That's when you know you played well. After the Stoke win, we did take on Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough, I mean, their blood been good. Their media prediction was first. They're currently in second. Gareth Southgate is the manager. They beat us 4-1. I mean, silver lining, Brian Davis scored again. So that's silver. We lost 4-1. There's no point in trying to be positive about it. Now, over in the FA Cup, we made it through the 3rd round, beating Premier League opposition in Bournemouth. Now, on the one hand, I do regret not doing this game. On the other hand, it was a 2-0 win. It wouldn't have involved an away day. And also, Bournemouth were rotating their team because they were in the Carabao Cup semi-final. So, basically, they threw the game against us. But don't let that distract you from the fact that Williams and Burstow did get on the score sheet. And off the back of that, with some wind in our sails, we did manage to beat Salford 1-0. In this game, Williams scored the fastest goal we've ever seen while we've been here at Guernsey. The previous record holder was Farquad. His goal was in 18 seconds. I think this one was in 14 or 15. I mean, here it is. Ridiculous finish by Williams. That man has 5 finishing. He scored in a ridiculous goal there. It was the only goal of the game. We won the game. And as per usual, Tejera just put in another absolutely ridiculous performance. And if this guy stays fit, he could be in our team for a very, very long time. He's currently on a 7.28 average rating. I don't want to big him up too much. It's the 3rd highest average rating in the league, folks. He's absolutely nuts. Most recently, we did draw against Millwall. Not a bad result. They are a team in mid-table, away from home. Not an easy game. What those results do mean, if we just take a peek at the league table, is we are now sat in 15th. We're not a team with the best record in the world. We don't have the worst record in the world. And in fact, we are only 9 points ahead of the drop. But at least for now, we do look like we're going to avoid getting involved in the scrap down at the bottom of the table, which, as far as I'm concerned, is just... that's kind of what we were hoping for, if I remember, at the start of the season. So I suppose we should talk about transfers, and Wayne Beckford has to be the headline news. He has left us for £950,000. Couple of reasons why I decided to take this deal. Firstly, there is a 50% sell-on of any profit. At the moment, he's valued at, well, up to £6 million, so there's a potential kickback there. And additionally, because his release clause to Premier League clubs was 3 times lower than what we've got for him, I kind of felt like it was better to cash in on him now rather than lose him to his release clause. It's a good deal for us. We get him back on loan. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be anyone who's upset about this one. I think that's the kind of deal it is. Besides that, a couple of other players have left us. Jay McGrath has left us to go to St Johnstone, had 6 months left on his current contract. At 28 years old, he was demanding £5,000 a week to sit on the bench. Wasn't going to make him the highest earner sitting on the bench, so we decided to sell him on. He left us for £30,000. Considering he had 6 months left on his deal, it's a little bit of money. Ben AC has also left the club, albeit only on loan. I am keen to keep the likes of AC and Apshawn in the club, just because they're homegrown at club. Not that we're going to be in the Champions League or, European competition anytime soon, but I just feel like it's useful to keep them in the family whilst we can. This loan, however, to a Vanarama National League side, I mean, if he doesn't perform for them, it's going to look highly questionable that I gave him 2 appearances in the Championship. So naturally, I've sold Beckford for nearly £1 million. You might be sat there thinking, Jack, where's all the money going? Well, I've invested a little bit of it in this man, Evan Broderick, a Northern Irish under-21 international, 18 years old. He has gone back on loan to Crusaders, either-footed, can play left or right back. I like the look of this guy. He is a very, very raw talent, but in the eyes of my staff, he has potential to be a Premier League player. Now, has that clouded my judgment slightly? Perhaps, given the fact his current ability is a national North or South player, but on the flip side, we've signed him for £25,000, which when you consider we sold McGrath for more than that, makes this a bargain as far as I'm concerned. Now, if you're sat there doing the maths, you're trying to add it all up and you're going, this doesn't make any sense, Jack. Like, where's the rest of the money being spent? Well, first and foremost, I did jig some of the money into the wage budget from the transfer sale. We made £950,000. So naturally, I did want to make sure we were no longer in the red when it came to the wage budget and also the scouting budget. It does mean there's a little bit left in the transfer budget, but that may already be being spent. And that's because I've discovered Adam I'm not going to be able to say this name. Schweichenflug. I'm going to call him Adam. I hope we're all okay with that. But yes, Adam here is incredible. He has been playing with Bayern Munich for a number of years. He was running down his contract with them. Were some teams interested? We have made a bid of £68,000. Now, I could get him on a free at the end of the year, but I actually think he could be a pretty useful player for us now. Long-term plan, train him to play left wing-back. He could be the left wing-back option of our dreams. But I also think he could end up slotting in and being a bit of an alternative to McGrath at centre-back. Of course, McGrath we have lost. He was our left centre-back option. We don't have another left-footed centre-back. And Adam here, if we just compare him to McGrath, yeah, he's not that good at jumping. He's got 5 jumping reach. But besides that, he is better than Jay McGrath in absolutely every single way. Did I mention he's 20 years old? This man has a bright future ahead of him. If he joins us, I'm going to be happy. He should be granted a work permit. Right now, current status, waiting on him to accept a contract offer of £2,700 a week. Now, as a result of that left-back option coming in, I have also made the decision to sell Owen Beck. If we just compare Owen Beck with Adam, again, it's going to be obvious why I might be interested in moving Beck on. His contract's running out at the end of the year anyway, wasn't intending on keeping him around, and if I can just get £750 off the wages, it would be nice. Right now, he's agreed to move to Swindon. I'm just hitting the delay button repeatedly until hopefully Adam joins us. It is worth noting that even if the Adam deal does go through and he joins us on £2,700 a week, there still will be around £8,000 free in wages, and I have been looking at where that could go. I've got a list of players here who are currently without a club, players whose contracts expired. No one has picked them up. There is one man who stands out a little bit, and it's this guy, Darko Gyabi. Started his career at Man City. I tell a lie, he started at Millwall, but he played a lot of his youth career at Man City. Since then, he went to Leeds United, has been with Wrexham, played in the Championship, played in League One. Obviously, they had back-to-back relegations. They released him. He's currently without a club. He is asking for a little bit much. I wonder if he's lowered his demands. Should we see if he's he was asking for £6,000 a month ago. We'll do it live. Impact sub. He's interested. He wants £2,700 a week. That I am very tempted about. Going to try and negotiate a little bit. Can we do 2.2, but I'll give you an extra year on your contract? He really wants 2.7. 2.4? 2.4. Lacks a little bit in the marking department, but he's very, very good when it comes to his tackling, and also his mentals are superb. Maybe lacks a little bit in the physicals. I don't really mind the fact he gets forward whenever possible. I think that could work in our favour. I do feel like we are a little bit light in the centre defensive mid-area. We don't actually have that many players that can play there. I've been looking and monitoring George Earthy's development recently. I say his development, he has not been developing. He's actually had an absolutely awful year. That is such a shame to say as well, because he was so important for us last year. But when you look at his development over the last 12 months, it is nothing short of tragic. And if we look at his all-time development since he joined us, he has not improved. And whilst it'd be easy to blame the facilities, there are, of course, other players that I can look at here at the club, like Kennedy Abubakari, who are pretty good evidence to suggest players can actually develop in the centre mid position whilst playing for us. The other nice thing about Gyabi is coming in with relatively cheap wages, we do have the potential to maybe sell him on in the future. He's not too old either, 27 years old. He's got loads of time ahead of him. Perhaps now you're beginning to understand why I've come back today for an episode. There's quite a lot going on at the moment. I felt like if I played a load of games, we'd have like a 45-minute long blockbuster episode. I'd rather fill you in as things go. And also, deadline day is 2 days after the Spurs game, so I think we might even end the episode with me making sure the transfer business is done today. So with that in mind, we are going to get straight into the first game of this episode. We are taking on a Watford side that I want to believe we can beat. They are on a little bit of a recovery mission of their own. They found themselves in the drop zone. They found some good form. For this game, unfortunately, Percy Donald has got a little bit of an injury, so he's only going to be on the bench. Pani, as a result, is going to end up playing as the deep line playmaker. Just as a little reminder, he can't play as a defensive midfielder. This is another reason why Giarbi could be a relatively useful player to have around. Okay, this game is an interesting one. It's two teams in the bottom half. Watford massively underperforming this year. Ourselves arguably overperforming. That said, with our recent form, with us being at home, I want to believe we can maybe smash and grab something in this one, especially because I know in the next game, we're taking on Tottenham. We're probably going to get battered by Tottenham. They're quite good in this save game. So a goal here, a win here would be massively appreciated. Could we make it happen? Williams to Gabriel, the right back in the team, and Jordan Gabriel. Forgot to mention, he's back from his hip injuries, and that is his first goal in Guernsey colours. He's like 33 years old. He's now had 2 hip replacements in 1 season, it feels like. He's been out for a very long time. Maybe he's going to be worth the wait. That finish there was sensational. 15 minutes played here, and we're into another highlight. Maybe it's going to be one of the days like at last episode, where there's just goals galore everywhere. Hopefully, though, not for Watford. Rigby with a really good save there. Arguably, we're fortunate to be ahead. We've had a load of possession, not done a lot with it. Watford have had way more shots, but, I mean, goals are the thing that count. I mean, if they score now, that is going to be a little bit awkward, isn't it? Yeah, goals are the thing that counts. They've now got one. The ball was whipped to the back post here, and you'd think with 3 centre-backs on the pitch, we'd have the men capable of defending a ball into the box. Apparently not. Blake, according to the commentator, just got his 10th goal of the season. I'm wondering how good Adrian Blake here is. 26 years old. I'll tell you what, he's been at Watford through thick and thin, and just looking at him, he's a very good little player. I say little player, 190 centimetres, 17 jumping reach. He's not small at all. If you were wondering, by the way, I mentioned the fact that Watford there have not been back in the Premier League in all the years that Blake's been around. They're actually predicted to finish 9th this year, so they are one of the better teams in the Championship, even if they have been stuck here a while. Anyway, at the break, we conceded from that set piece, but from there, not a great deal happening to end out the half. It is 1-1. Not a terrible half, not a lot to get super happy and excited about. So I'm going to tell the players I'm far from pleased. I am just wondering if I want to change things up at all. I'll tell you what I'm going to do just to start this half. I'm going to up our directness slightly and tell us not to look for the overlap in the same way that we normally would. Talked about this before. Look for overlap doesn't mean the wing-backs aren't going to get forward. It means that we're not going to slow down our play to let them get into the overlap positions. I feel like that's a very common misconception. Okay, we're starting with the ball here, and it's going to be Pani trying to pick out Mackenzie. The left wing-back, I mean, here he is. He's on the overlap. He's not got the memo, and I'll tell you what, he very nearly scored himself. I mean, if both wing-backs scored today, that would be very weird. We've still got a chance from the corner. They've scored one. Why can't we believe that we can score one? It's going to be floated in. Unfortunately, it's headed away. And unless Davis is going to pull off a miracle, he didn't pull off a miracle. So, yeah, we're not going to score from that one. But maybe a free kick here. Burstow played to him, dealt with well, but we do still have possession. Beckford going on a wander. The Celtic man, and I mean, maybe he'd be better served playing for Celtic. That was tragic. Pani's actually having a really good game at the moment, considering he has no concept of defensive midfielder as a position. I'm kind of happy about that. Mackenzie at left-back isn't having the best of games, so I'm going to bring in Sereno. Elsewhere in the team, I'm going to bring in Donald, but I'm going to bring him in for Abubakari. And Brian Davis, not having the best of games, we're going to bring in Brandon Charles at shadow striker in behind. Fresh legs in the midfield, see if that is going to be enough to maybe turn the tide of this game. In this second half, we have been playing a little bit better than we were in the first. We've started this thing strongly, converting that possession into opportunities going forward. That said, we do need to remain vigilant at the back, and while it does concern me slightly that Watford are having an extended spell of possession here. Davis into the channel, cutting inside, hits it straight at the defender. Maybe still a chance here. Ball whipped in. Blake's already got 1 goal, but on this occasion, we're going to win the ball off him in the air. Donald with the ball. He is carrying a little bit of a knock, maybe a gamble to bring him on here, but I'm hoping he can maybe offer a spark of creativity in that defensive midfielder position for us. It's going to be Beckford with the ball to Tejera. Donald, Williams. Look at this build-up play. This is nice. Gabriel, he's already scored 1. That ball into the box is ridiculous. Burstow should have hit the target. I've got to say, I'm really liking what we're seeing from this performance here. This has been a very vintage Championship Guernsey performance. We've been plucky, adjusted things a little bit. There's been a lot more tinkering going on this season as an underdog side, but it's kind of enjoyable to see it most of the time work out for the better. And well, I'm going to hope that maybe something can happen here, because Donald, I mean, he's put it in the box again. We have so many highlights start with corners, and then it always seems to go up the other end and result in a goal. Going to hope that's not going to happen here, as Teixeira getting back in position is going to read it and lay it back to Rigby. And well, back to what we do best. Playing it out from the back. Pani. Back to Beckford. Teixeira here. Trying to invite the press forward. Trying to create that space in behind to get a big direct ball over the top into. And I'll tell you what, Williams is there for that ball. He's going to whip it in. Burstow. He missed the target with his last header, and on that occasion, he's hit the post. Okay, Abu Kamara, get warmed up. Burstow, I've seen enough from you today, mate. You can come in. I say you can come in like I'm his parent, you know? No more playtime. You're coming in. It's tea time. Right, I mean, if they score here, I'm going to be sad. I'm hoping this is the pointless nothing highlight. I mean, Pani, love that. Just kick him in the shins, mate. Going to shout some words of encouragement to end this game. Got a good reaction out of the players. Could it swing things in our favour? Watford have done nothing in this half. There's 3 minutes of added time. We've got a corner here, and Teixeira has finally done it. He has scored from a corner. You might be sat there thinking, Jack, it says he's got 2 goals for the season. The other one was a penalty. Oh my word, I can't believe it. Donald, on off the bench, brought in to do just that. Sensational outswinger, Teixeira, 20 jumping reach comes good. What a moment for him to pop up with a goal. And now, I think we're about to get another massive win for our season. It is 2-1 here. And when you look at that second half, I'm going to say it, we're all thinking it, we absolutely deserve that. With that result, we leapfrog Watford. We're now into 13th. We're very nearly in the top half of the table. Blackpool, the one team ahead of us, albeit they have got a game in hand. And for people wondering, Jack, are you close to the playoffs? Still 11 points away. Whereas compared to the relegation zone, I mean, we're 12 points away. We're closer to the playoffs than the drop zone. As far as I'm concerned, that's as good as it gets. I feel like all my energy's just gone into that game there. We'll give Teixeira some praise for that last gasp winner. That game apparently was the key match of the day, and apparently it was the shock result at Playmore. Of course it was. Take that, Watford. Now, I feel like I need a rest after that game. I was very energetic. I've worn myself out. We've got Tottenham in 2 days' time. I'm going to rest up the players. We have got the away day to look forward to. It is also the FA Cup 4th round, and actually, before we do go forward, do just want to point out that in the last game against Bournemouth, we actually broke a record, and that record was for highest attendance and also highest gate receipts. We had a complete sellout. 6,200 seats is Plainmoor's capacity, and off the back of that, we made £138,000, which obviously doesn't quite mean the same now as it did a few years ago, but still, we will absolutely take that. Okay, Tottenham, 2 days away. We're going to get straight to that one. I'm excited for the away day. I've not yet been to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in real life. Doing it in this video is the next best thing. Like I already said, I've never actually been to the new Tottenham ground, but I used to live down the road from the old stadium. For people who are wondering, I used to live on Silver Street, which is not the nicest area in London, let's put it that way. But here we are. Here is the Tottenham Stadium. I can find it right away because I used to go through here on the train every day on my way home. Tottenham Stadium, of course, state of the art, very, very nice. I'm now wondering, if we go on Street View, will we be able to see White Hart Lane as well as the new stadium? I'm very, very confused by the lines here. I'm wondering, did someone drive through the stadium? Or is this where the old ground used to kind of not be? And, you know, this is White Hart Lane as it was. And the answer is, it's White Hart Lane as it was. Does that, can we, this is the old stadium. I feel like we're going back in time, everyone. This is from 2010. Here is what used to be here. I feel like we have to do this very quickly. White Hart Lane in all its glory. I mean, look, it was an older stadium at the time. It probably was due to be knocked down and rebuilt. I'm thinking if I click enough here, we will eventually get to a point where the stadium just suddenly changes. Maybe if I go this way and turn around? That's bizarre, isn't it? As a site, here is the new stadium. I think it's safe to say it is an improvement. I mean, this stadium is absolutely mad. It's one of the most expensive stadiums, I believe, ever built. A ridiculous state-of-the-art thing. I've heard, and if anyone's been to Tottenham season ticket holders, hear me out. I think they fill the beer, cups up through, a tap through the bottom of the cup. I watched a YouTube video once on it at 3 a.m. That really is a mood, isn't it? How weird is this as a site? You can look at this street view here from 2015. And if I just click once backwards and turn around, there's just a new stadium. I mean, the real question is there drone footage or anything from the inside? The good news is there's dots absolutely everywhere. You know what? We'll just go to the centre circle immediately, or at least what's labelled as the centre circle. I mean, look at this. This stadium is rather big, isn't it? Found some drone footage as well. I mean, look at this. It's pretty, isn't it? I know I like to complain about the kind of modern copy and paste stadiums. This is one of those stadiums that is kind of, it's one of a kind. Also, can you just go on the roof? Can I go on the roof of this state? How do I make this happen? I'm not a Tottenham fan, but if any friends or family are watching, I'd like to be taken on the roof of the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for my birthday. Thank you. I mean, the tricky thing is, how do I realistically compare stadiums like this to some of the stadiums we did at the start of the series? I feel like I really should have put more thought into the scale and what makes a good stadium. Speaking of what makes a good stadium, I have not spotted a car park. I mean, the car park's probably underground, but if I can't see it on Google Street View, I don't think it can be part of the review. I figured since we've done it for some of the other stadiums, we might as well do it for this one as well. Hop into Google Earth and look at this stadium. I mean, it is a pretty marvellous thing. I'll admit it, Tottenham fans, your stadium is quite good. That said, doesn't connect to a bowling alley, doesn't have a cinema in it, doesn't have mini golf connected. So can it really be as good as York? Now, I gave the York City Stadium a 9.75 rating. I'm going to give the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium a 9.5. It's a nice stadium, isn't it? Yeah, it's a good away day. Can we all agree on that? Arsenal fans aren't going to agree. I think everyone else can, though. I realise I have just spent like the last few minutes just gushing over the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, but I'll just to reiterate, it is nice, but not quite as nice as our team for this game. We are pretty much at full strength. I have rested up the players. I'm taking it seriously. I'm picking a team based on form as well, which does mean that Pani, unfortunately, does drop to the bench. We are going to bring Donald back into the team to play alongside Aboubakari. Gabriel, back from injury, just scored. I mean, he's only made 5 starts for us, of course. His starts this time at his club hasn't exactly been great. He's had 2 major injuries. He's missed 5 months of football. His contract runs out at the end of the current year. I mean, he is now playing to get his contract extended. He is going to have to play ridiculous to the end of the season to earn it. Burstow was a little bit wasteful in that last game, but I'm going to stick with him for now. They say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. I'm picking Burstow again. Potentially, I'm insane. For people a little bit curious about Tottenham, by the way, media prediction of 8th. They're currently in 4th. Last year, they finished down in 13th. It was their worst season in the entirety of, well, this POC to Prem Sim into the future. Kovac is currently their current manager, and Kulusevski is their key player. Yeah, Kulusevski still at Tottenham, still quite good at football. When you look at their team, they've actually got a lot of players that I recognise. Their team is a little bit on the older side, isn't it? They are going to be a team in transition. Kessie, Gakpo, Broha, Guehi. Obviously, some of these players are very young in real life, but we're 10 years into the future now. Yeah, this team needs some young upgrades. I say that. They do have this Danish centre mid who looks like the Christian Eriksen regen. He is their best young player. That said, if I was a Tottenham fan, yeah, you've got a nice stadium. Your squad's bloody old, though. They did play Leicester only a few days ago, so maybe they'll be nice and rotate the team for our game against them. Question of the day, are they going to play a rotated team for this game? I was thinking we were going to see the lineups on screen, but apparently this game wasn't big enough to put on TV. They have got Mudryk in their team. He's going to get a very big upgrade, isn't he, in the next update of Football Manager. They have also got Guehi playing. They've got Ravella. They're still playing a very good team in this match. This is a rare opportunity to test ourselves against some top-quality Premier League opposition. Obviously, we've played Everton. We did play Bournemouth in the previous round, but their depth wasn't like Tottenham's when they rotated it. This is a bit more of a test. I mean, at the moment, we're having more possession, and I don't care about the scoreline. If we get more possession, I'm going to consider that a very small win. Tomlinson with the ball for Tottenham, laying it wide to Stransky, who's going to play it forward to Mudryk, who I said needed an upgrade, and that's potentially why. That was a shocking finish at the end of that. I'm going to make the change I made against Watford, I think. I'm going to get rid of look for overlap and just up our directness slightly. We are having more of the ball. We've also not created anything. On the flip side, with 10 minutes left to this half, Tottenham have not yet found a breakthrough. Half-time here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, it's 0-0. It has just dawned on me. I'm not sure if this game goes to a replay or not. Let me check the rules. Check the rules. Game does go to a replay. No idea how that would fit into the episode schedule if this does go to a replay. I've not planned for it. I mean, with 45 minutes left to this game, there's still quite a lot of football left to be played. Probably don't need to worry about a replay just yet. Free kick for Tottenham. Mudryk over it, looking to float it into the back post. Teixeira, 20 jumping reach. Bet no player in Tottenham has that jumping reach. He's got it away, at least initially, although there could be a chance here. Mudryk in behind, and Rigby with some heroics. Stands up tall like a tree and blocks it. I mean, I don't know if a tree would be a good goalkeeper, but Rigby's a great goalkeeper, and that by Davies, good tactical foul, I rate it. I say good tactical foul. They have now got a highlight from it. It's whipped in. Tejera wins the header again. He's like, just going to say it, all our players are like trees right now. We're like a forest. Can Tottenham find their way through it? Is deforestation going to win this battle? I certainly hope not. Although they do still have the ball. They are still on the attack. Stransky, the left wing back, bringing it forward, skips past his man. Loads of time and space for him to play it or do something. And I'll tell you what, it's gone wide. I thought for a second Rigby had saved it, but no, it was just a poor effort at the end of what would have been a sensational run and a sensational goal. Up to now, I played it. It's not been a bad performance. It's not been a great performance. We're going to bring in Abu Kamara. We're going to bring in Charles. Get the pacey lads on. Elsewhere, McDonald is on a booking. He's also coming back from injury. I'm going to take him off. Jordan Gabriel is going to come off for Haddo as well. No, he's not. We only get 3 subs in the FA Cup. I made this exact same mistake last year, didn't I? I'm getting deja vu. Double change made with our 2 strikers. Let's see if just a couple of fresh legs up top can make a difference here. I mean, as we stand, there's 25 minutes left. It is still 0-0. Another free kick for us to deal with, though. This time, Ravella stood over it. He's going to put it in. Tejera wins the header. Davies heads it away. I'll tell you what, Tejera's winning every single header, it feels like, in the penalty area in this game. Tottenham right now, they're being Tejera'd. They're feeling the pain that many championship teams have played against this year. Set pieces do not work against us. They are not very effective. That said, they do still have the ball here. And Nassar is in behind. And I'm waiting for the linesman's flag to go up. And it's not going up. But it doesn't need to go. The referee's hand's gone up. Has VAR done that? I mean, I'm not sure if he was offside. Not going to complain. Corruption goes in our favour for once. I think with 15 minutes left, I'm going to make the change I was going to make previously. I'm going to bring Pani into the team. I'm going to move both him and Abubakari up, though. Want to just try and make something happen here. Our replay doesn't really suit us in a bizarre way. Don't get me wrong. We get a great payday here as the away team, but having 6,000 fans pack into our ground for £100,000 doesn't really make a difference like it used to. And with our focus fully on the league, I don't really want a Premier League match to distract us. That might be a weird mentality, but I'd rather go for it in what remains of this game. We're going to see if we can make something happen here. Beckford, Abubakari, caught in possession. Tomlinson for Tottenham, running forward, and it was so good to the finish. We've been let off the hook. Sky Williams over a free kick here, laying it to Beckford. We're going to try and build out from the back. 8 minutes left in this game. We've weathered the storm well. Can we just find a sucker punch from nowhere? It's David v Goliath. We've got our slingshot packing, and well, Kamara has won the ball here. Can he make something happen? Options inside, lays it off to Davies, back with Kamara. Brandon Charles is at the back post. Kamara might go on his own. Oh my word, Abu Kamara. If I could reach through my screen and kiss him on the forehead, I might do it right now. He scored another massive goal for us. It's 1-0 Guernsey against Tottenham. It's completely against the run of play. I feel dirty that we're playing this way. Davies with the little give and go. Kamara cutting inside, and I mean, he has somehow scored from that angle. I have no idea how that's gone in. Now that we've scored that goal, Abubakari and also Pani, you can drop deep, lads. We're going to change everything back to what it was on before. Shorter passing. We'll leave passing to space on. Distribution, we're going to slow it down. We've been here before. You've seen this before. We don't need to counter press in the same way. Little bit of time wasting. And I'm going to go to positive mentality as well. There's a kickoff highlight right away. Am I about to regret making all these changes? Just gone back to what we would normally play in any old league game. Maybe I'm inviting pressure on ourselves. Tottenham have been on top in this game, and well, that deflected cross had my heart in my mouth for a moment. Rigby clutches onto it. Hold on to it for as long as you can, mate. Count to 14 seconds. Never mind 7. I mean, Tottenham have clearly got short distribution on. They're marking our 2 wider centre-backs. We're going to attempt to go long with it. Tejera, Abubakari. Tejera again. Beckford. Pani. I mean, I wouldn't mind another. Mackenzie, what can he do here? He's going to try and pick out Kamara. It's Redwell. Leo now looking to lump it up the other end, but Tejera's going to win the header. I don't mind if this Football Manager highlight ends now. I don't mind if this is a pointless highlight. I just don't want to see Tottenham go forward. They're going forward. Tomlinson, Rigby, bail us out. We were ahead for a minute. This game is meant to be fun, but all it causes is pain and suffering. It's not even like I can undo the... Do I move the centre mids back forward? Do I do that now? Narrator... He did. We're going to do exactly what we did before. What were the changes that I did? We'll put distribute quickly on. Why not? We will now counter press in possession. Go more direct. Get rid of the time wasting. Oh my God, I hate this game so much. It's the hope that hurts. It's the hope that kills you. I really thought we could do something here. I'm now terrified of the replay potentially happening because it doesn't really favour anyone. It doesn't do me a favour. Do I come back and do that next episode? I don't have time to do it now. It's currently midnight. I mean, Nassar, I almost wanted him to score there. Does that make me a bad person? There is another highlight here. Rigby stood over it. He's going to lay it short to Tejera. Aboubakari, Pani. Can we go up the other end and score? We've been brave here. We've gone back to what we were on before. I realise I've left positive mentality on, but maybe that is not a bad thing here to just, get a balance, given the amount of players we are throwing forward. Ravella playing it inside. Scotty Williams is going to read it. The fact that we've done this against Tottenham, even if we concede here, we have gone toe-to-toe against them in this game. We have caused them all kinds of issues. We've done ourselves proud, and it's all come completely undone. And I can pretend I'm happy because there's no replay. No, I'm not happy. I'm pissed off. We were in the lead 10 minutes ago. 10 minutes ago, we were winning. I was happy. I was sat on my cool box. I was squatting on a stool like Bielsa, happy as Larry. And now I just want to cry. Wait a second, there's a corner. There's not long left. Tejera's over it. The keeper spills it. I thought there's a goal. It's not going to go in, and that's probably that. I mean, Tottenham, enjoy your stadium, Tottenham. I hope you're happy. Hope the FA Cup 5th round makes you pleased, because I'm sad. Just reeling in the amateur dramatics for a moment. That is still a really, really good performance. I'm very proud of the players for that. So we have been defeated in the 4th round by Tottenham, but worth noting, we do get a payday from this game. I don't know what the attendance for this match was. I mean, the stadium, at first glance, is it full? I can't tell. I mean, it's not the Etihad, so it's not completely empty. Man City fans are thinking, why are we catching strays? Like, I'm a Liverpool fan. I'm very, very upset at the moment. I'm fragile. Leave me alone. So the attendance for that game was 46,000. It wasn't a sellout, but we did have 2,000 of our own fans go to that match. And with that game, we have made a load of money in gate receipts. Apparently our balance was at 157k. Don't think that includes the Beckford sale. But that said, still over £500,000 I think we made from that one match. I mean, you can see here, gate receipts made this month, 1.2 million. Gate receipts made last month, 58,000. For the season, we've made 1.7 million. So, yeah, that was definitely a lot of money we just made there. Compared to last season where we turned up and just got spanked by Everton 3-0 for a payday, that was a little bit better. So I think the plan of attack to wrap up today's episode is to do deadline day. And when I say do deadline day, I mean come back at the end of deadline day. We're not going to be doing a load of crazy business. If some mental offers come in, I'll tell you all about it. My plan of attack is to get in Adam, to get in Darko. If we get those deals done over the line, I think that's going to be a good window. I don't want to sign too many more players. As we just hit deadline day here, I can't believe we went so toe-to-toe against Tottenham. I'm really proud of the team for that performance, even if we did bottle a 1-0 lead. I know we tinkered, but we tinkered in order to get in the lead, and then we tinkered to throw away the league. I'm the tinkerman. We wouldn't be in the position we're in this year if it wasn't for the adjustments we have done game to game. They have been more common this season for sure. Anyway, you know everything's really, really serious here because we've got the yellow transfer deadline day skin on. Apaya, by the way, is looking for a move out the club. I've told him I'll sell him if an offer of £22,000 comes in. No one has bid that yet. Apshawn has lodged a transfer request. He's only started one game for us this year. If he wasn't homegrown, I'd probably quite happily sell him. He did sign a new deal at the start of the year, which means he's here to 2034. Maybe I can just loan him out for the rest of the season. If someone could pick up his £3,000 a week, that would be very nice. It's not all of his wages, but you know what, Doncaster? You can have him. £2,100 of his wages going to be paid. Not mad about that. I'm still waiting to see if Adam accepts our contract offer. It's going to be very sad now if he accepts a move to just stay at Bayern Munich or something. Do I need to be worried about his work permit? Are we going to be able to get that sorted in 12 hours? We're going to have to hope so. Looking at things here, it's been offered. It's been granted immediately. Was it pending before? I swear I didn't say work permit before. I guess it's because it's deadline day. Either way, I'm not going to complain. Not even going to think twice about this one. Has got a minimum release clause to Premier League clubs of £1 million. But the contract does have a little bit of room to move up if I do want to try and Tejera him, where we sign him, then up the release clause or get rid of the release clause later. I think for £68,000, that is an absolute bargain. With that deal confirmed, we can also kick Owen Beck out into the street. Thank you for your service, Owen, but times are changing, we don't need you anymore. When you compare Mackenzie and Adam, there's not a massive deal of difference. I'd argue Adam is probably the better player, but he can't yet play left wing back, so whether or not I'll try and just shoehorn him in there, I suppose we'll wait and see. But nevertheless, for the fee that we've paid for the 20-year-old, I mean, it's impossible not to be a little bit excited. You might be wondering, Jack, what does this transfer mean for Lenny Ray? The answer is I've not quite figured that out yet. I think there's room for all three in the team. And I mean, if there isn't, then we'll just kick one of them out and sell them on for some profit, hopefully. Okay, Apshawn is leaving the building and going to Doncaster Rovers. Have had some loan offers for Appiah, but not really interested in loaning him out. It has just dawned on me with Darko Gyabi here. Because I'm signing him as a free transfer, I don't know if his transfer gets sped up on deadline day. There is a chance that he doesn't agree to this contract we've offered to him today, and if that doesn't happen, he will miss the registration window and I won't be able to sign him. I am still having a little look around at what players might be available if there's any last-minute bargains to find with 4 hours left, but to be honest, not really anyone jumping out at me. Okay, concerning news, deadline day has finished. We made some pretty good deals, I feel like, in this window. I really like the signing of Adam. I think the decision to sign Beckford kind of makes sense, but Gyabi has not accepted our contract offer, and I think players have to be registered now. When I look at the registration screen, it says in brackets, deadline now. I mean, that feels ominous, doesn't it? The registration window is now. Gyabi hasn't accepted our offer. I feel like this is something that should probably be addressed in FM24. You should probably be able to tell free agents, hey, we have to have you registered by this date, make a decision, because this is just sad. Fortunately, it's not a transfer that's going to make or break our season too much, but if he was a super top quality player, it'd be rather annoying, wouldn't it, if he wasn't available? Okay, registration window has passed. It hurts a little bit to do, but I'm going to have to cancel this offer. Gyabi, I am sorry. Not gonna lie, felt a bit weird ending with deadline day today, especially because there wasn't exactly a load of stuff going on, but at the same time it gives us a little bit of closure, meaning that I now feel safe in the knowledge I can play a load of Football Manager. In terms of my plans for the rest of this season, assuming we don't fall into A, a relegation fight, or B, a playoff fight, we'll probably only do 1 or 2 more episodes to wrap up this season ahead of kind of the transfer special and stuff. Don't want to get too ahead of myself, but looking ahead, March looks like an appetising month, especially because we will have a youth intake. You're sat there thinking, Jack, why are you excited about your youth intake? It's rubbish. I've never had a youth intake with more than 1 star. This is a 2-star intake. It could be special. Probably won't be, though. 2-2-1 results in today's episode. Pretty dramatic. I hope you enjoyed them both. Maybe my suffering was fun. Maybe my elation as we beat Watford was fun. I've had a great time today. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video. We will be back tomorrow with more Park to Prem action. Until then, take it easy. It is me, Jack, and I'll see you all on the next one. I'm out.